The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. I'm going to stop now. But those of you who are familiar with that know it's from Lord of the Rings. It's a great walking song, but it's a great walking song that I'll keep to myself and I won't subject you to. So who am I and what's this channel? Let's just jump right into it. My name is Bill Giovinazzo, and this channel is about my Camino this year. Last year I walked the Camino, and a lot of friends and family said that they'd like to see more pictures. And there were a lot of videos that I took that I just couldn't share through Instagram. So this year I thought I'd create this channel to make it easier to share with friends and family. I'll also be posting some things on Facebook and on Instagram, and you'll see more still pictures there. But here I'd like to share some of the videos, maybe go a little bit longer than what normal. But this isn't only for friends and family. I'd like to share these videos as well with people who are considering the Camino, and I'd like to inspire them to actually walk the Camino de Santiago. It's a wonderful experience, something that I strongly encourage anybody who to do it. Just anybody. It's a great thing to do. It's a very rewarding thing to do, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But first, let's talk about what the Camino is. The Camino is a pilgrimage. For me, it's a pilgrimage in Spain because I fly into Madrid, and I pretty much 90% of my Camino, maybe 95% of my Caminos are in Spain. Last year I started in France and walked into Spain. It was only about 4 hours in France till I crossed the border. But there are other people who start from all sorts of places in Europe, the Netherlands, Germany, Italy. So it's not just a pilgrimage in Spain. And you walk through Spain, a beautiful country, with wonderful food and great people. And you end up in a place called Santiago in the Basilica or Cathedral of St. James, and which is a great experience. It's a wonderful town, a wonderful city. And then you can go on to a place called Finisterre, which I hope to do this year, or Maxio, which I also hope to do this year. So, as I said, it's a pilgrimage. And maybe in one of the future videos we'll talk about pilgrimage and what that means. But I'd like to use these videos to inspire others to do this pilgrimage. Now, as I said, I did it last year, and it was a transformational experience for me. It was a wonderful experience. Last year I did a route. Now, the Camino has many, many routes. Last year I did the route called Francés. There's others. There's the Portuguese route. There's the Primitivo. But this year I'm going to be doing Del Norte, and I'll be walking that route. Now, this should be especially beautiful because it's along the northern coast of Spain, along the Bay of Biscay there. So I'm very much looking forward to this. But as I said, so it was a very transformational experience for me. So I hope to have a new experience, perhaps more rewarding, and be able to see another part of Spain that I didn't see last year. Now, earlier this week, I was talking with a neighbor, and we were talking about my upcoming trip, and I mentioned that last year the trip was transformational for me. It was a great trip, and he said, "Well, what changed? What do you mean transformational? How are you different from this time last year?" Well, last year, as I was walking the Camino, there were things that were just so beautiful and they're just so wonderful that I just wanted to capture that moment. I'm reminded of one time when my wife and I were having dinner on the edge of Lake Como in Italy, and I remember as we were eating dinner, she would look around and then she'd close her eyes. Then she'd look around and then she'd close her eyes. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "I want to capture this moment. I want to remember this moment. I want to lock it into my mind." And I thought, well, that's great. And that's what I tried to do last year, was to really be present in that moment. Forget about all the stuff back home and all the challenges back home or all the difficulties that one might face in a regular day, and just focus on being present, being in that moment. And it really created in me a sense of mindfulness that I continued to practice when I got back to my normal life. And as a result of that, somehow, and I really can't explain how, I began to be more aware and began to study more Stoicism and to develop a deeper understanding for Stoicism. And I started to practice Stoicism. So between mindfulness and Stoicism, I really changed a great deal of my perspective on life. Now, one thing I want to make a point about when it comes to Stoicism to me is kind of like a methodology. When I think of methodologies, I think of engineering methodologies. I was in the software business for 42, 43 years, and we had methodologies for doing things well. I was a project manager, and we had methodologies for project management. And to me, Stoicism is that for life in general. Now, I also want to say that it cuts across all faith traditions. If you're a Christian, a Muslim, a Jew, a Buddhist, Stoicism is one of these things that is, the way I see it is you almost can help you organize these other faith traditions into a very practical, normal way of living. The scripture is great. The Bible is great. I talk about Christianity because I'm a little bit of knowledge, even a little bit of knowledge of Judaism, and no knowledge whatsoever of Islam. And as far as the other isms and belief systems go, no knowledge of those whatsoever. But assuming that there's some parallels between the two, I see Stoicism as a way of organizing Christian principles in a way that allows a very practical way of applying those principles in a more structured kind of way of thinking. At least that's how it worked out for me. So Stoicism I find very compatible with Christianity, and it's kind of interesting that this pilgrimage brought it about. So beyond Stoicism, beyond the pilgrimage, so it really changed my life. It really transformed my life. It gave me a better handle on living life in a day-to-day manner, in addition to just having a greater sense of fulfillment in life. One of the things that I believe in, and I think that is a principle of Stoicism, is that happiness is great if it happens, but the thing that we really need to seek is fulfillment. And maybe in one of the future videos, I'll talk more about that. But again, getting back to the pilgrimage and how it was transformational. So this year I want to go back and I want to do it with a deeper understanding of Stoicism, a deeper understanding of mindfulness, and get something more out of it. Now, as I said, there's multiple paths that you can go to Santiago, multiple routes in this pilgrimage. Last year I did Francés, which was wonderful. It was a great experience. However, Francés is very, very popular, and there's a great many people, which in a way is good because last year I developed some very deep friendships, people who I really felt a real sense of love for. I call them my Camino family. And I really miss that I don't see them daily, at least like I did while I was on the Camino. But I did Francés last year. This year I'm going to do Del Norte. I'll be walking along the northern coast of Spain, along the Bay of Biscay, and that should be a great deal of fun. It should also be very beautiful. So this year is going to be a little bit different in the sense that I'm going with this frame of reference, Stoicism, and I'm going on a different route. But I hope it to be equally rewarding and equally interesting. So hopefully this, and my experiences along the Camino, will be interesting to my friends and family and help inspire those who may be thinking about doing the Camino. So we've talked about what the Camino is and and why I'm doing it, and why I'm calling this I think why I'm calling this a Stoic on the Camino should be somewhat obvious at this point. So one thing I should talk about what the Camino is not, or what these videos aren't. They aren't guides, okay? Now, there's several books that you can use for Camino guides. Now, when you do the Francais, you'll see this. You'll see this book. This is a great book that you can tell that I got caught in the rain a couple of times while on the Camino. But this is the Brierley book, and I loved this one. This was great. This was very useful. The Camino Del Norte, I am bringing this book for Del Norte, and once I get to Santiago, I hope to go on to Finisterre and Muxia, and I have this book for that route. I bought this book, but I don't think I'll be carrying it with me. Don't want to carry a lot of things with me on the Camino. But that's, so this is not a guide for the Camino. Now, there's some very good Camino videos, and there's some very good Camino channels, and I'll include those here. One guy who I really like is the Camino Guide. He does some really great videos, and I tell you, listening to those videos helped to make me. Did I say that right? Helped to make me successful last year. So I would recommend listening to him. And his name's Joshua. He's a great guy, and I think he also has a launch service. I know I used it last year. I'm not sure if he's still doing it, but if he is, it's a great way to kind of get there and get you started. And he'll get you the first couple days, which worked out wonderfully for me. This year I don't need it as much because I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing. So this isn't a guide, and I'll give you some links below for Camino guides, as I mentioned those books as well. Neither is this a philosophical exploration of Stoicism. And I'm not going to be lecturing you all on Stoicism and bore you with all the details, although I find Stoicism fascinating. And as I go along the way, I will be talking about Stoicism and where I see Stoic lessons and where I see points to discuss concerning Stoicism. I certainly will be sharing those. But that's not the main thrust. The main thrust is to get you excited and to hope that you enjoy the beauty of Spain and the beauty of the Camino de Santiago. Now, if you do want to look into Stoicism, there's a guy, Ryan Holiday, and he does The Obstacle is the Way is one of his books. And this is pretty good. It's a great entry-level kind of thing, a great introduction to Stoicism. If you really want to start getting more into kind of like a daily Stoic routine, or maybe step a little bit deeper into it, he has the Daily Stoic. Now, this is just the book that where it's kind of like what Christians have, where they have daily devotionals. This is kind of like that, where that it has little messages each day about Stoicism. I like this. It's pretty good. I read it every morning. Along with this, there's a book where you actually journal and write down your thoughts about what was read, what you read that day. So I would look at the Daily Stoic Journal if you're interested in Stoicism. If you're not even sure what Stoicism is, the book that I love the most, with all due respect to Ryan Holiday, is Massimo Pigliucci's book, How to Be a Stoic. Love this book. This is a great, great, great book. Best book I've read this year, and this year I've read some excellent, excellent books. But this is the best book I've read this year just in general, and this is an excellent book on Stoicism. Really clarifies it, really creates really helps you understand what Stoicism is. And again, if you're not interested in Stoicism, don't worry about it. Still follow the channel because, like I said, it's a secondary portion of the video. But mainly I'll be focusing on the beauty of Spain and the beauty of the Camino. So that's pretty much it for today. You'll see some more videos coming from me. As you can tell, I'm at home right now, enjoying a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. But tomorrow I'm going to be packing my bag, and maybe I'll share that with you. We'll share a little bit about what I carry and what I chose not to carry, and the lessons I learned from last year. But that'll be tomorrow, and then the day after I'm on the plane, and I hope to start from Arun on Wednesday. It always takes kind of like a couple of days for me to get to the beginning of the Camino, just because, I'm on the other side of the planet, and by the time you get there, and by the time you get to the trail end and trains, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I hope to make this fun. I hope to make this interesting. But again, it's a Stoic on the Camino. And I hope you come back. I hope you enjoy this. Friends and family, I hope you enjoy it as well. And when I get back in July, we'll have to have a barbecue back here or something and have a nice party. And you can all tell me how insightful and wonderful and intelligent I am in my videos. And I'll appreciate that, even if you're lying to me. I don't mind being lied to when it comes to stuff like that, So if you want to tell me I'm wonderful, even if you don't think it, go ahead. Same thing with the comments and the people I don't know. Just tell me I'm wonderful, subscribe, and ignore my, Oh, that's another thing, they always say subscribe and hit the notification button. So subscribe and hit the notification button. But yeah, I'd like you to. It'd be great. It'd be great if I got like a bazillion, like everybody on the internet just wanted to subscribe to this channel and listen to me ramble on. But it's not professional. It's not slick. I'm not going to be doing a lot of editing. All I'm sharing with me is my cell phone. So what I can do on my cell phone is what you're going to get. And I'm not going to write scripts. My wife says that I have a tendency to ramble when she listens to some of my videos. And yeah, I ramble. But it's okay. It's going to be fun. At least it's interesting to me. So hope you enjoy this. And we'll see you again. So, one other thing. Whenever you pass anybody on the Camino, buen Camino. So when I got back to California last year after walking the Camino, I was passing people on the street going, buen Camino, and they looked at me like there was something strange. But you get into the habit of every time you see somebody, buen Camino. So, buen Camino. We'll see you on the next video, and looking forward to the Camino, and looking forward to all of you dialing in and listening to this. Dialing in. You don't dial in anymore, do you? I'm showing my age. Getting into the Camino, listening to these videos, and posting about how wonderful you think I am and how interesting you think these videos are. So, buen Camino, arrivederci, ciao tutti. See you later. Take it easy. Bye. Bye. Bye.